Yes, good evening, people. It's 6:30.
Oh,
Well, 6:35. The game's finished. Arsenal 3, Man United 2. I know, Candace, you haven't got long, but we're going to get straight into it. Before the intro, just take it away. Hit me with something that happened today. How was it? What was the atmosphere like? What's going on out there at the moment? Like, just talk to us.
Mad. I'm being ushered out. It's just mad.
Right, you're breaking up. Hold on. All right, Candace, we can barely hear you. If you go outside the stadium, just come back in, and then we come to you.
Okay.
All right, enough love. Sorry about that. We thought we had a little live broadcast, but his signal's going. He's got to walk through the stadium quick to get back to the outside. So we'll start it properly. Let's get into the intro, and then Brenny, I see we're all smiles. Let's do this.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we're back. It's the Armoury. Brady, I can breathe again. How you keeping, brother?
Oh man, almost lost my voice. I couldn't breathe throughout the entire match because there was a lot of sloppy play. You know what I'm saying, from both, and we did what we had to do today. That, you know what I mean. But that wasn't the best performance. But for me, it was all about them 3 points.
100%. That's what it comes down to. Like, I think we played better football, more fluent. To be fair, the second half we started to cook. The first half we was quite panicky. But that's also, I think, down to the Man United's threats. They've just got this thing about them. When they go forward, it doesn't matter which one it is. They just look like they can hurt you.
Yeah.
I think that was in the back of our minds. And obviously, we went down 1-0. The stat come up. I think taking the lead. They haven't lost a game this season. I'm not sure how long it went back for. I just saw it in the bottom of the corner. But they haven't lost. I think they've only drawn 3, and every time they've gone ahead, they've won. So sorry, just quickly. Yeah, Mr. B and Amondi, if you're listening, feel free to jump on. I know you lot got your stream, but if you want to jump on, have a 5-minute. Tell us how you thought the game went, and you can jump back off again. Not a problem. We're not like Sam Spurs over here. You can. Our stream is your stream, brothers. But yeah, it was back and forth the first half, wasn't it? It was exciting. Do you feel like it felt a lot of talk in the build-up's been about? It feels like Wenger Fergie, where United are playing better, Arsenal are playing better. Did you get that vibe from today's game?
You know what? Yeah, I did, because for me, that felt like a game back in '97. You know what I mean? I felt like when we won 3-2 back in '97, because that was end to end. We had 2-0 up, then it was 2-2, then David Platt scored the winning goal. It just felt like that today. But there were times where I can't remember the last time I got nervous during an Arsenal game, but I was getting nervous in them at second half. You know what I mean? Regardless of league position, you always want bragging rights over Man United, and like you say, there, you know, for me, you got to give them credit today. They did what they had to do, but you know, we got the 3 points at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely right. We're going to try and cut to Canners. He's outside the stadium. He was obviously in there, the lucky devil. Let's unmute him. You probably hear a lot of chanting in the background. But Canners, how you keeping, brother?
Yes, Canners.
Oh my God. That's all the AFTV lot there. That's all
Tell us, what was it like in the stadium when that third one went in?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Listen, I ain't got words, but it was just like, straight away I saw there's no issue with offside. So when VAR came, when I was so calm, it was seriously, because I was right in line. You see that Eddie was so onside. It was nuts.
Well, where you were, they showed the pass from into Sinchenko. He looked dead level as well. So that's what they looked at first by VAR. And then, but
I didn't see the first one. I was just okay.
Yeah, it looked close. I don't know what Mr. B would think. but they didn't show the lines on it. But the pass from Trossard to Zinchenko, they was looking at that first, and it kind of went off the screen, and then they went onto the Nketiah one, and that one looked more on. There was one angle, it looked like Jesus, that's tight, and then they flipped the camera angle, and then like, actually no, he's way on side. And
okay.
Oh yeah, what was the scenes like when that went in there? What
Oh
did the roof
my God,
lift?
Eric, look at this. Listen,
Jesus, how much it means.
It's good. Listen. I don't know about you, man, but I've not been to an Arsenal game where the atmosphere has been like this before.
Really?
I can't even remember when, but yeah, when that third goal went in, it was kind of weird. Everybody was going absolutely nuts, but then it came on to stop and thought, shit, actually, it looks a little offside. And then when it went in, and then obviously went back and the result and everything, then it was just like, oh, something there. And the scenes in there, sorry, language, but it was just crazy, absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, it's do you know what? This place is buzzing now, and the way this team is playing, to come back from a goal down, I think everybody was in disbelief. Even the United supporters were just like, "Ooh, did we just score?"
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
And then they started celebrating.
Yeah,
but listen, hats off to United, because I tell you what, hats off, man. That's the best team I've seen play at Emirates.
Yeah, and obviously we're gonna come from you in a minute, because I know obviously you're there live. I want you to go and enjoy and take it all in with the rest of the fans. But for you, who was your man of the match today? Who was you really impressed with?
Zinchenko was serious today. Saka had short on toes. My God, every time you could see what Saka was doing to him, he'd just get the ball, stand him up, and he'd just come on to it, roll him on his left foot, to go on his left. And he listen, the goal what he got, you can see that happening, and he nearly did it again. But for me, Saka was just a problem. He's gone up levels for me. He is probably right now, I would say, he is our truly one world-class player. Because I don't use world-class lightly. No, seriously. That performance today from him, serious.
Unbelievable.
Martinelli dropped off a bit, and I tell you what, Trossard looked decent.
Yeah, feet were. I called him my little Santi Cazorla the other day. I said I wanted to have the number 19 shirt, and what I saw of him in there, it was. Yeah, and again, it was not. And this is not to dig out Martinelli, but that decision making for the goal. Does Martinelli try and beat Wan-Bissaka there rather than wait for the support to come? Wan-Bissaka also doesn't want to get too close to him, and it allowed the overlap. And it's just those little margins, and this is why we needed the squad depth. Yes, he didn't score. Yes, he didn't.
Do you know what? You're spot on, because you know what? The thing is, we could have done with him against Newcastle. Something different. Something, just to change it up or whatever.
Yeah.
And Oh, right. Listen.
Listen, we're taking it all in, but right, Canners, we're going to cut from you.
Cool. I'm going to try and get home to pick a Piccadilly lines out.
Oh, good luck to you, mate. I'm sure you'll be flying on cloud 9. You'll get home in a second.
Oh, so. Listen. I'm taking a long route home. Mr. B, bruv, it's good to see you. You know what? Blessed that you come on. I tell you what,
always,
mate. Man. Oh, man. You know what? I was thinking of you when that third one went in.
We'll chat, man.
Good times are back. But right, cool.
Look at this.
Hold on, let's enlarge you.
Yeah, this is what it means right now.
Yeah.
This is what it means right now.
Definitely. Most definitely. But right, Canners, appreciate you. Enough love, brother. We'll speak to you soon.
Bless.
All right, all good. Yes, Mr. B, how you keeping? Hope you're well.
I'm good, bro. Always good, man.
Big up for yourself for coming on. And do you know what? I was there last season where you get beat. I don't know how you feel about United, but you almost feel proud of your team still. That you're at the start of your Ten Hag era. You're coming up against Arteta's Arsenal, which has been 3 years in the making, and we're flowing. So can you take a lot of positives from that game?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, look, we did the first game. How I see it, or how we played you the first game, you didn't have Partey. We played you this game, we didn't have Casemiro. Would Casemiro have made a difference in the game? Would it have made a difference to result? Who knows? But he's a better player than McTominay. At the moment, Arsenal are flying. I'm not disappointed at all. I'm disappointed at the timing of the goal. maybe if you had scored it on the 70th minute or the 65th to make it 3-2, but the fact that the goal was so late in the game, I think that's more what the disappointing part of it was. But as you said, Arteta's 3 years into his reign. Ten Hag's 29 games in. There's a difference. There was now 2 years ago we looked at Liverpool playing Chelsea and said, look how tactical the game is. Look at the level of the game. Now it's now Manchester United and Arsenal's level. I mean, it was a good tactical game. If it had been a draw, no problem. We lost the game. I'm vexed with the result, but not from the performance. And when I look at and think like McTominay, he's not first choice. Weghorst is not first choice. You know, it's to be fair, out of what we've actually got this season, it's 2 players, Martial and Casemiro. Would they have made a difference in it? I don't know, but it would have been nice to have had the first team out. Listen, you can't take nothing away from you guys. You know, we before me and on Monday were chatting, we were saying if we can hold the first 20, 25 minutes, half an hour, then, you know, we could be in the game, you know, and to a certain extent, that's how it kind of played out. So no, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm disappointed. Disappointed result, not with the performance.
100%. And again, you can see everything is timing. You know, Ten Hag's here for the long term. You know, you guys are kind of going through a bit of a rebuild. And I'm looking at that and I feel, a striker for you lot, which Ten Hag wants, a right back. Not saying Wan-Bissaka bad, but I think playing out from the back today, where he comes unstuck. Defensively, is never an issue, is it? But I think Arsenal, we tried to pressure you once or twice down the left, and then we said, actually, let's just lock off the left and make them go down the right. And we got a bit of joy. Do you know what I mean? Because even if he's passing into the midfield, he's then passing into McTominay, which again is not Casemiro. So that definitely helped us. And the first half, I think, was very close. I'll be honest, I'm nervous as hell. Any time I feel you lot just hold a threat against us, where anytime you go forward, you look like you could do something. But second half, we then started taking over. And it takes me back, I don't know if you think, Brenny, to when we played, maybe a year or two ago, where we'd be in a game against City. We'd be in the game in the first half, and in the second half, it just peters out for us. Like we just don't have the kind of legs to stay playing at that kind of tempo and intensity. And again, just that, what we've got at the moment is a belief to keep playing our system. I remember last year we played Palace, I think it was, and Brighton. We played good in the first half, and then it's like we go to play out, we get pressed, we lose the ball, and we go away from our playing out from the back. We started going long and not taking the risk, and then our second half would just die because I kind of got that from United today. It was the game plan was really good, he was strong, and then as soon as we started to get a better review, you kind of then just sat in a formation, try not to concede. And again, you probably would have been happy taking a draw out of that. And it just comes down to time, innit? Just that bit of belief. And again, maybe not having Casemiro just to steady you, settle the ship down a bit, would make a difference. But I'll tell you what this calls for. It said, we've had one game without Partey. You've had a game without Casemiro. FA Cup final, I need to see you lot there. That's what we need to see.
You know what? I called it at the beginning. I think it's gonna be the Europa League. I really it's not going to be the FA Cup, bruv. I just have a sneaky feeling it's going to be the Europa League, and that'll be all the Premier League results will be done. It's whether you lot have won it, whether we've both qualified, whether one of us drops out of it. But I think that'll be our final game of the season. I think that'll be the one. Yeah, I think that'll be the one.
And again, it's
Mr. B. Though, but do you think though? Sorry, Gumsa, I was just saying, Mr. B.
Yeah, do you think
with Barcelona in the next round? I mean, it's about what Barcelona turns up, really, isn't it?
You know what?
Because they're a side.
I'll be fair. I'll be honest with you. That Barcelona game, if we don't win it, I have no problem. I'm not going to be upset. One, because it's Barcelona, and I think at the moment Barcelona are a better team than us. If we can get our first team out, including Martial and Casemiro, I fancy us for both legs. But if we go out, we now don't have no European football. We've then got football once a week. You understand? Then now the players are able to get the rest in their legs, the extra 2 days that they need. Arsenal have still got Europe to come. They've still got the European game. Arsenal aren't going to give that up. whether it's not going to be a weakened team, and I know you don't have enough to do a Man City 2 squads, but it's going to be mixed. So that's not going to be a priority. I understand, but it's still not going to be a game where you want to lose. So if we get knocked out by Barcelona, we've then got one game a week. If we go through, it's going to give the team so much confidence and belief moving forward. Oh, raw, we just dick Barcelona. That could carry us on. That momentum could carry us on to the end of the season. So whichever way that works, it's not going to, obviously when the day comes, you don't want to lose, but I've been thinking about this for a little while. It's about where we finish in the Prem, because let's be serious. We could go all the way to the final, finish 5th, go all the way to the final, be banking on that, lose it. Guess where we finished? We're still in 5th. Yeah. So the priority has to be top 4, and then whatever extras you get after that, you know?
And believe me, we've been there. We went to Baku relying on that, trying to win that against Chelsea, and
too
we
much
saw
pressure.
How that ended. But it was get it done in the league. I've got no doubt that you guys will come top 4. Again, I think it's a 3rd place finish for you, which would be a great season in his first season. But let's talk about some individual performances. We'll be fair. Let's go Rashford first, because I feel first half he was cooking. Even the second half he looked a problem. Is he back to his best?
Yeah, I think he's.
What are you feeling about that contract now? You lot getting a bit nervous that he still hasn't signed, or
no?
Do you feel he's happy at the club and he sees the direction heading in?
Yeah, he's happy. It's just a matter of when it's signed. To be fair, I don't see there's any issue with him not signing it at all. His form, I think this is the best we've seen of Rashford. This is the best Rashford's been playing. I mean, that goal today, he's now scoring goals that he's making himself. You know what I mean? He cut Partey, and where the ball dropped, he was able to come in on his right foot. He didn't just cut him and knock the ball off. He actually was in control. You know what I mean? We already hear about how hard he hits the ball. So yeah, Rashford at the moment, he's our star boy. He is our star boy. We've got Casemiro playing. We've got Martinez, top level. But at the moment, I think Rashford is the one, and not even slightly bit worried that he doesn't sign the contract. If he doesn't sign the contract, I'll be honest, I have no idea what I would do. I'll be honest, bruv. I have no idea what I would do. But no, to be fair, I think he'll stay. I don't think the contract. I don't think that part is any issue at all. Saka though.
Well, that's the next one we're going to go on to, because
blood.
I'm gonna let Mr. Brenny go first. Give us your thoughts on Saka, Brenny, because today Luke Shaw didn't want to come out, engage, and I understand it. And as I spoke to him on the air, and I think the difference was Fred coming on. Fred really helped Luke Shaw, but just talking about Saka, the finish, the one that hit the post, he just backed up Luke Shaw all game long. So talk to us about him. And this is obviously what Paxton Pomcal saying as well.
Well, when I've seen Luke Shaw in games this season, and I think he's been consistently good, and doing his job well. But today, it was just something else. Like Nketiah said earlier on, Bukayo Saka, he's just gone up levels this season. He really has, and he gave Luke Shaw a torrid time today, an absolute torrid time. I mean, it was just a fantastic performance by Bukayo Saka. I mean, I could go on forever talking about the guy, but he was immense today, and I think Luke Shaw must have been thinking, "Oh, please, man, he may not even sleep well tonight." You know what I mean?
What about you, Mr. B? What are your thoughts on our boy Saka? I can see Southgate was in the stands today, so I can see a front three of Saka, Rashford, and Eddie very soon, I reckon. So,
I'm not too. Saka is Eddie. Eddie's Eddie. Saka.
We'll move to Eddie later.
He's a different level player. I'll be honest. He's a different level player. I know there was 2-3 years ago there was the Saka Sancho comparison. Right now there's no comparison. There's none whatsoever. The goal that Saka scored, even when I saw it back, I said, did he really hit it from there? And then the second one, right. And that's why, because I was thinking, was De Gea at fault? Bruv, you don't expect a man to bang from there. And he hit it round the player, and then he did it again. The second one where it hit the post. You know? So at the moment, man like Saka's playing. I don't blame Shaw for not coming out because at some stage he has to try and stop him. You can't make him run in his own. But what me and Monday were saying in the game is he made him walk into the box. He was so scared of Saka. He didn't want to rush him. Saka stopped him and held him exactly where he wanted to put him. He walked into the box and just held him. There was a time where he did it. He walked him into the box, held him, and then Nketiah came running across the line, and it was Varane that cut off the ball. And I'm saying, well, if you don't try and close him down, he's going to always kill you. But as soon as he tried to close him down, what did he do? Boom, boom, straight past him. Yeah. So Saka was unplayable today. Saka on that side was unplayable today.
And I must say, we've seen Jesse Lingard moonwalk at the Emirates, and today we saw Luke Shaw moonwalking at the Emirates. So this one I enjoyed more. This one I enjoyed a little bit more, though. But before we move on, we're going to get into the new boy shortly. But I also want to touch on your thoughts, Mr. B, about Alexander Zinchenko. Now, again, I know you watch football, so you've probably seen him playing this role he plays and inverts. And 1 minute he's on the right centre midfield, then he's left, like he's all over the place. But when you watch it against your own team, does it fit different to think like, why is it we can't seem to nail this man down and pick? He's involved in everything, isn't he? Like he's everywhere.
When you bought him, Arteta said he's not a left back. He's a complete footballer, and I now understand what he meant by that. He plays anywhere on the all right. He lines up at left back, but the way you played, he comes in same way to an extent how Ten Hag's got our fullbacks playing inside, but. Yeah, he's got a different level of understanding of the position. I think the fact that he played with Pep for so long and walked into the exact same system with Arteta means that he didn't have to change. He didn't have to alter the way that he played. And Arteta had already seen him playing at Man City already. So, yeah, he's top player, played the position well. The thing is, what we were hoping was that obviously Anthony being out wide would have kept him out wide, but it wasn't really Zinchenko on Anthony on that side. No. I'm trying to think who it was. I can't remember who it was that he was running, but it was never Zinchenko. So it was like they said, forget that. Whoever the fullback was, maybe, or the centre back or the other central midfielder, maybe they were the one took out there. But I never saw.
They rotate around. What the system they got at the moment is. Again, if you coach until they call it the washing machine, don't they? So Zinchenko will come in, Martinelli will Xhaka will then go higher, and then Martinelli drops back sometimes a little bit. So either one. So sometimes you'll see Gabriel out on left back, sometimes you'll see Xhaka at left back, sometimes you'll see Martinelli there. They all kind of help out and rotate around, and it's all to kind of everything we do at the moment is just trying to create overloads in different areas. And he is crucial to it because he just pops up in places and he's so composed, like the little flick ball he did for Xhaka. I think we all say Partey is our most important player, but actually I'm watching it now and I'm thinking, I think Zinchenko is our most important. We can all kind of see what Partey does and why we say he's the most important because he's the only one that can kind of do what he does in our team. But I feel you could probably find other players to do that around the country. Whereas I think how Zinchenko comes in there and just, as I said, he's a centre midfielder who's starts at left back. It just makes a difference, and I'm starting to realize actually he's probably the most important. He almost releases Xhaka higher up the pitch because he plays centre midfield, and we spoke about him last week, Brenny. I know me and you both really love Zinchenko, and even start of the year when people were still saying Tierney over him, me and you kind of stayed strong on that. Actually, Zinchenko is bringing something different. 2 minutes Zinchenko, and then we're going to get onto the new boy. So, Brenny, what do you think? What's your thoughts on? Is it just compounding? Every week you see him playing, like how good he is and what impact he has on this squad.
You know what? Yeah, man. He does have a huge impact on this squad. You know what I mean? And not just him, but Jesus as well. I mean, these guys are the serial Premier League winners as well. They've been a part of that City success in the last few years. So and that helps as well. You know what I mean? And it helps. It gives encouragement to the younger players as well, especially. And I mean, how many players we got has never won a league title before, but today, I think it was his best game today. I can't think of a better performance than that from Zinchenko. The guy was everywhere. I've seen him perform so well, on games, but I think today he was just brilliant. I thought, yeah, I mean, he's had good performances before for us, but today I think he was just on another level. Today he was
Yeah,
absolutely
100%.
superb. There were times where you'd see him on, you'd even see him on. He'd go from left to right, and you're thinking, why are you out there? Why are you on the right? I'm sure, but he does have someone covering for him as well at times on left. So today, brilliant. But that man,
Yeah.
he's something else.
Definitely, I agree with you.
Really
We could talk about the new boy. He had a little cameo. I'm not too sure what time he come on, but at that stage of the game, we're really pressing, and we're starting to get a bit more football down the left. And yeah, not saying I think all of us are calling again. This is what we brought the signing in for. Newcastle, we struggled to break them down. We didn't have any subs to come on. This game we do. We have our new signing, and I thought it was very important. He's a different style player to Martinelli, and I think Martinelli all game was trying to get at Wan-Bissaka, trying to get at him. This time we held the ball. We kind of waited for support, didn't he? A lovely little kind of round the corner ball for Zinchenko. He's cut the ball back. He's bounced around a bit. We've got a shot off. Shot across. I have no idea what it was, but Eddie Nketiah pops up and finishes. So yeah, tell us about Trossard's performance. Again, we show some really feet in there towards the end. And this is the kind of player we need, isn't it? To kind of see out these kind of games and just give us a little bit more. Someone's going to retain the ball under pressure and unlock little things. So, Brenny, you could go first on the new man Trossard, and then Mr. B, we'd love to hear your thoughts on Trossard as well and what you've seen of him previously.
Yeah, I mean, Trossard, I love what I saw today with his little cameo role. We're gonna see. He's got quick feet as well, and he's just, we will see a lot more of from him. He'll start games because we'll have to rest players. Need that squad rotation with him. But there's just so many things that he can do on that left hand side. He can he can do what Martinelli can do, and as well, and even Bukayo Saka to a degree. But he can also play up front as well, isn't he? So, but he's one of those guys that he pops up in big games, and I feel we've got some big games coming. I mean, we still haven't played City yet. We still got to go to Anfield. I feel that he'll have a part to play in those games. I just think when looking at it now, I mean, I wasn't that disappointed we missed out on Mikhailo Mudryk, but I look at it now and I think, you know what, we got ourselves a player here with Premier proven player, Premier League experience, and that's important. I mean, he's going to be a fantastic player for us.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Like Mudryk, let's not get it twisted. We're not delusional over this side. He's got a massive ceiling. His ceiling's very, very high. I expect him to go and eclipse. I expect him to kind of go past Steve. And you all know how I feel. I don't think Martinelli's been really on top of his game the last few weeks. And then today was another game where I wasn't very impressed. But yeah, so we all expect Mudryk. We know what he can. Well, we don't know what he can achieve, but I'm expecting big things from him. However, where we are now, actually having a Premiership proven player may be the difference that's carrying us over the line. We haven't got to wait to try and integrate him and him learn the Premier League. We've got someone who can come in straight away and knows how to handle these situations. He's been here, done it. He's played against the big clubs, and he scores a lot of goals against the big clubs as well. So yeah, he could be really important. Mr. B, what's your thoughts on Trossard? Do you think it's a good signing for Arsenal?
He's going to be effective. I'm not sure how much games he's going to start, definitely, because he can play. They said in all four positions. He's going to get game time, and he said he didn't play like Martinelli. He used his brain a bit more. Martinelli's raw in it, and his thing is pace at the moment. So that's what he feels that his advantage is. With Trossard came on and he ended up stopping Wan-Bissaka, and that's what I respect more about players with pace. You don't always have to use pace. Use your brain, use your feet, use your trickery. There was a time on the game where he came on and he had like 4 touches where it was just like boom, 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 boom. And he ended up dribbling past like 3 players just in a small area. Martinelli's not doing that. What it did, it now makes the players think, Ross, we can't even go in. Sorry for the language. We can't even go in there and try. We can't even go in there and try and kick him. You understand? So there's levels to what. How old is Trossard? 20, 27?
28, I think.
28. I mean, there you go. He's seen he's seen in that position on the pitch. He's seen more than Martinelli. He's probably forgotten more than Martinelli's learned. You understand? So I think you've got in that signing. I think you've got somebody who's not necessarily going to bring you to the next level, but now your level doesn't drop. Any of those players along that position there who don't perform, they now know they've got somebody kicking their backside to cut. I actually think he's going to end up starting ahead of Martinelli. Maybe next 2 or 3 games. Saka's nailed down. Odegaard's nailed down. I think that the Martinelli side is the side where I think he's going to come on and excel for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in agreement with you. I feel exactly the same, and I'm not trying to bash Martinelli, but for weeks and weeks, I haven't been calling him out as much. He wanted to, but I don't think he's been great since he's come back for the World Cup. I don't think he's been great. But he carries a threat because of his pace, and he works hard, and that's the minimum we ask for. And at most clubs is, even if you're not playing well, work hard, track back, put a shift in. But what it does give you, if he's running you down the wing for 60, 70 minutes, now you bring on the trickery and someone else. It just gives you the other options. And it's a good addition.
And now you can go the other way with your sub. You can bring on the trickery, and then once he's tired of balling out, you then bring on Martinelli to do.
And today showed, getting to Newcastle, similar position going into the last 15, 20 minutes. We're drawing, and we just didn't have anything to bring off the bench to change the game. And this week we did, and he was involved in the goal. It just shows what having squad players can do for you, or again, level when you bring a player on. But let's talk about man of the moment, because at the World Cup, and I'm sure Mr. B was one of them fans that were laughing when Jesus got injured, saying, right, our title charges, and that's it, it's over, they're done for, they're never gonna maintain what they've been doing. Eddie Nketiah, now everyone knows this has been my guy from a long time. I've always maintained he was playing in a bad Arsenal team, a bit like Xhaka, where Arsenal wasn't flowing, so you can't expect this young kid to kind of carry the fight. Aubameyang's not scoring, and he's a seasoned pro, so I can't expect Nketiah to do it by himself. But since he's come in, I think that's in the Premier League 5-5 for him. He didn't score in the Newcastle game. It's either 4-5 or 5-5, something like that. Tell us about not just the goals, his overall play, because what people would say, he can't hold the ball up, he can't do this, he can't bring people into the game. What did you see from him today? Was you impressed with Mr. B? Like, as a backup striker, do you feel he's...
Yeah, I mean, he's saved you money. I think he's saved you a whole heap of money, because you, obviously, in the last season, he was leaving, so you're giving him a wedge of a contract. But if he's doing what he's doing, he's worth it. Obviously, you had Jesus in. He was always going to start. He's the big money signing. But to have somebody there, second choice, guess what? Look, he may well, I'm not going to say he's going to keep Jesus out of the team. I think Jesus is a different level. It's a different level altogether. But Jesus wasn't scoring.
Yeah.
This is how you got to think about it. Jesus wasn't scoring when he was playing. You were still winning your games, but you want your forward. Now, if you've got a forward who you're winning, but guess what? Now he's scoring goals, second and third goals and winning goals. Is Jesus walking straight back into your team? And that's the good thing. Obviously, you know, he stepped up a level that I didn't think he would have done, to be fair. But maybe that's just me being bad minding it. You know, it is. Your main guy's out. You've got this you coming in. You know what I mean? So no, fair play to him. Fair play to him. He's got the belief. The manager's got the belief in him. And to be fair, I think he saved the club a whole load of money. Because if you hadn't scored,
what you're finding a lot of clubs. Yeah, carry on. Finish up. Sorry.
No. Finish up.
Yeah. I think what you're finding, and we've seen Tottenham go through it for years. It's very hard to find a good number 2 now. Again, I look at Man United's team, the glory days, 4 strikers. Do you know what I mean? York, Cole, Sheringham, Solskjaer. It's always 4 strikers. Yes, we played 2 up front, but there was always 4. Football's changed, and most people are playing with 1 striker. But it's very hard to find a good second striker because no one wants to play backup. Everyone wants the starting. But we've seen Tottenham go through this for years. They can't find someone to sit behind Harry Kane. Know what?
The thing with Tottenham, they've made it perfectly clear that Harry Kane starts whether he's sick, whether he's got a it's regardless. So you're not going to want to go to that club because you're not going to be given a chance, and that's the problem. If you're, even if you know your second choice, if there's a chance that the battle is fair, then you're going to take the opportunity. But why are you going to go there? No professional footballer in, I'll say this, just a lie. We got Phil Jones at our club who's sitting down, not picking up no money for not playing. But anybody with pride, anybody in pride in their self, it's going to want to prove themselves as a footballer. You know what I mean? So yeah, I understand why people ain't going to want to go to Tottenham, because you're not going to play.
100%,
But you lot, on the other hand, as I said, and the fact that he's homegrown, and I said, no, like, you can't. You can't. I love seeing you shine in it. You know what I mean? Especially, you know, just
I know what you're saying, man from the end,
right.
man from the end.
Yeah, right. You understand? You know what I mean? Saka grew up down the road from where I live. His mum lives 10 minutes walk from where I live. So I like to see the local youths them doing it. You know what I mean? It's Arsenal, there's always a banter, but on the real, man, these guys have worked so hard to get into, and now he's been given he's not letting you down. And that's all you can ask for. He's a striker, he's playing up and he's scoring. You understand? So there's no, you can't hate them, man. You might hate the club and you might banter the club, but on the real, man, you can't hate them. I'm proud of that. I love that. I love to see them young youths doing it. You know what I mean?
I love that. That means a lot. And again, I think even though, as I said, all the teams to lose to is United is the worst for me, because I've got everyone's United fans. There's so many United fans out there, but there's still an element of respect between Arsenal and United. And I think maybe because we both fell off the ball for so long, it's
at the
actually
same
quite
time,
nice.
bro. We
We
fell off the bridge at the same time. You know what I mean? We just stopped talking. We stopped talking about title races. We stopped talking about Champions League. It was Europa. I mean, do we even know what Europa music is? You don't. You don't care. You understand? Right. You know what I mean? Thursday nights. Yeah, you don't want to play on Thursday nights, man. You know what I mean?
So, it's nice to see. As I said, today was nice to see two teams going at it, and they're fighting for the same thing as such. It's fighting for the right thing where we should be. So, in terms of that, it's nice to see. But Brenny, let me let you go on to Nketiah. We all knew he could finish inside the box, but he took both goals really well. And unfortunately, De Gea made a good save to stop him from getting his hat trick. Really, hit it quite close to him. But yeah, talk us about Nketiah's performance today, and then we're going to get into some match ratings before we bounce.
Yeah, Eddie was brilliant today. Absolutely brilliant. His non-stop running, his non-stop pressing. I just love when he does that. I mean, being a former centre forward myself, I just love the way he applies himself on the pitch. It's like he's getting stronger though. I've noticed he's getting stronger every week. Every month he's getting stronger. His hold up play is getting better. We know he can score goals. You know, he at times he looks quicker, he looks sharper than a year ago. A year ago, I would have said, Eddie, nah, sir, no way, because at the time a year ago, Bamyang was on his way out. We had Lacazette. Lacazette wasn't firing, and it was like, and Eddie took his chance towards the end of the season. And I remember, and I don't know if you remember, I was saying in the summer about Eddie. I was never one of those that wanted Eddie to go, wanted him to leave. I was always one of those that said, yeah, Eddie's going to be second fiddle to Jesus, but there's a lot he can learn from someone who has won titles, won cups as well, you know. So there's that side of it as well, because like I said in the summer, I remember saying to you, Gumsa, that, you know, he'd be looking and thinking, you know what? I want a record like Jesus. I want to win things like Jesus. And what's happening now? He's thriving. He's thriving, and I wouldn't get rid of him. I wouldn't get rid of him. And it's nice. It's nice when you see homegrown talent, especially homegrown strikers, centre forwards. It's very rare you get one that makes it, because we've had quite a few, and they've gone on to Championship clubs or League One clubs, or they've gone abroad. And you know, some of them, have they been a success? Maybe if you go way back to the 90s when we had those strikers, homegrown strikers, Andy Cole, Paul Dickov, and they did make it, both of them. Well, Andy Cole, we know he made it. I think Mr. B, I think he knows a little bit about Andy Cole as well, you know. So yeah.
Listen,
So
let me just show you something while we're talking, yeah. We're talking, yeah.
You know what? Yeah, I didn't even want him to go at the time. So you know, and for me, Eddie is the one since probably the last striker I saw that made it at Arsenal. Homegrown striker was Kevin Campbell, and you're going back 30 years. I can't think of anyone else since then.
Nah,
You know,
not
any other young players, you know, any other young strikers we've had, it's when Arsene Wenger would get them in from when they were young,
like in a Nelka or something like that, isn't it? Bring him in at like 17
yeah,
or so. Yeah.
But it's nice when you see this, because it is a throwback to Kevin Campbell and Paul Merson, who ended up winning stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So,
And yeah, this
yeah,
homegrown thing is. Sorry. Yeah, we're just gonna keep moving on because I know Mr. B might have to jump over to his channel shortly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Eddie, big up yourself. I hear a lot of chat before he came in after the injury. It was, yeah, he scores goal, but can he do it at the top level? Can he do it against the biggest teams? Can he win matches? Does he score the match-winning goal? It's all fair and well scoring when you're winning 3 and 4-0. We know he's a predator in the box, and he's showing that. But now, what else is he showing is his actual football ability. So, yeah, big up Eddie, man. Like, the phone's ringing, I'm answering. I'll be ringing Niger in a minute as well, and I want a full apology, Niger. I'm calling you out on here. I want a full apology. But yeah, Mr. B's, we're not going to keep you much longer. We're going to jump into some player ratings. It'd be interesting to hear your take on some of them as well, from the other side. We'll go one person each. Give me a score, and it's a little 20 seconds on that player. We'll start with. I'll start today. I'll go Ramsdale. I'm going to give him a 7. Kicking was good. He took a risk once or twice, but that's how he does it. I think he was at fault for the second goal, between him and Tomiyasu. Whether Tomiyasu hasn't heard the shout or whether he hasn't shouted, but I think them two are at fault for the second. But he made a crucial save against Rashford, where it took a deflection. And so for that, I'll give him the 7. Brenny, we move on to you. We're going to go, you'll have Ben White. And I'm giving you Ben White because I think Mr. B might kill Ben White. So, yeah, Ben White, what are you scoring him?
Boy, I wasn't impressed with him today at all. He had a shocker. We may have won the game today, but from what I saw, I would say it's got to be a 5 or a 6. I would say 5.5. I wasn't happy with him today.
Yeah.
Wasn't happy with him today. He was the worst player on the pitch.
I agree with that. I don't think he was great. And again, we was all calling for it. Get him off at half-time. A yellow card killed him as well. He couldn't. Now Rashford had the beating of him, and him on the yellow. I think Arteta done the right thing, getting him off at half-time. Mr. B, we're going to give you Saliba. What's your score on him today?
I'll probably give him a 6. I mean, Weghorst wasn't the best. He's mobile. I don't think he had. It's weird. I don't think he had too much to do one-on-one with a player. If you know what I mean. I don't think he was involved in a battle. So I mean, what he did. I'll give him a 6. I'll give him a 6.
All right, Saliba with a 6. I then have who's next? Gabriel. So again, I don't think you really troubled our centre backs. If I'm honest, I didn't have to see any late last minute tackles, blocks, not much. It was definitely your threat was from the wide areas. So I'll give Gabriel a 7. I think you've done everything you had to do, but yeah, there's nothing like outstanding about them today. Like that makes sense. So I'll give him a 7. Brenny, you get Zinchenko. He's a big smile with that one as well.
I'm telling you, man, he was. I thought for me, he gets an 8.5. I just thought the guy was everywhere today. He was so immense. It was, for me, the best game I'd seen him play in an Arsenal shirt. I can't think of any other game where he's, 8.5 for me.
Yeah, I agree. I would have given him a 9 personally, but Yeah, we got 8.5. We go to midfield. The battle of the defensive midfielders. One wasn't there. One didn't have his best game, I don't think. But what are you saying about Partey, Mr. B?
I was expecting to see I was expecting to see something today. I don't know, man. I hear this talk. I mean, obviously, you was on the show. I was on the show with you last week, and I was expecting to see something today, man. I just didn't see it. I didn't see. Yeah, I just didn't see it. I didn't see it.
It's a Partey, and I know I'm gonna let you give the score, but it's the same thing with like a centre back. Sometimes you don't. When he's in cruise control, it might not look like he's doing much, but you can't get near him. So yes, he gave away some silly passes today, some stinkers, but there's sometimes where he drops a shoulder or moves a play. Do you know what I mean? Just them little things, which it's that constant pressure we can put on you, and that's what he gives us. He just gives us that. Do you know what I mean? He just controls and dictates. But yeah, without doing anything spectacular, you're not going to see a worldy 50-yard cross-field pass, or do you know what I mean? You don't see that kind of. But he's always in control of the game, and it's. Again, when you try and press him, it goes into him and he gets you out. Him and Zinchenko, and that's what makes us hard to press now. And that's if you don't play Partey, we're easier to press, and that's why Arsenal fans rate him so highly, because he's press resistant, and I think that's what he gives us. But yeah, he did give away some real sloppy passes, and he does that every week. To be fair to him, but yeah, give me your scoreline on him.
I'm gonna give him a 6, and that was more because it was Rashford that gave him the little flip flap for the goal, innit? It was him that he put the ball past. So I'd give him a 6. I was waiting to see something, but I can't give 6.5 maybe if you go for half marks. But I can't give him a 7. I can't give him a 7.
That's fair. And then again, he did catch the nutmeg for the goal, so yeah, I couldn't believe it. But yeah, we move on from him. I'll go with Xhaka. I'll give him a 7. I think he's industrious, but. Again, I keep calling it. He's doing really well defensively. He's a good 8 for us, but offensively, I need more in there. And I'm waiting for Smith Rowe to come back, because I think Smith Rowe is going to play in there. And there's times where you can see just someone who's a bit better in the offensive third is going to make a massive difference to Arsenal. Because I don't think Xhaka's that player on the edge of the box who can link and is intricate. So yeah, he has his job to do. He starts games, these big games, but then it's having that guy off the bench to make a difference. So I'll give him a 7. I think he got in some good positions and just didn't do enough with it. Actually, do not lie, I'm going to give him an 8 because the cross for the header. He get an 8. He will get an 8. That cross was on point. So yeah, 8 for me. We move into Brendan. I can't give you Zinchenko and Saka, so you get Odegaard. It's unfair to have both of them, man. To give that to someone else.
Okay. Martin Odegaard. Yeah, I thought he did well today. For me, he gets an 8 today. He gets an 8. There were parts of his play where I thought there were times at times it was like first half was a bit of a scrap, and he fought today. He fought well. It wasn't, because we know the pretty side of his game and what he could do, with the ball. But there were times where not just him, but players, really had to scrap for it today. And yeah, I thought he was brilliant today again. 8 for me. 8 for me.
Okay, Mr. B, you get the Saka. You can have him.
9. I just.
That's what I would have said.
Yeah, 9. But when a man's unplayable, he's unplayable, and I just think that he was unplayable today. So he's getting a straight 9 for the goal. You can't say nothing about, and the fact that he did it twice, he stood him up twice and put the ball in the same place. Then so he straight 9 for Saka. I think he was your best player today, without a shadow of a doubt. I think he was your best player today.
I've seen Luke Shaw since the turn of the year. He's been so aggressive in his defending. He gets touch tight. He wins things. And he just looked like he didn't want to get anywhere near Saka today, because a quick 1-2 or Saka goes the other way, he's
gone.
And yeah. You really saw it. I was surprised Malacia didn't, but again, it's the experience. But Malacia played Saka really well in the first game, so I was surprised we didn't see him. But yeah,
Saka must have did that to him in training. Saka must have did that to him in England training. Must have given him turret.
But you know, sometimes when you play someone who you know, it's harder because you know what they can do to you. When you're naive, sometimes
Exactly.
you play fearless because you haven't seen it. So, yeah, Saka was brilliant. Martinelli for me, I'm going to give him a 6. Don't think he was good today at all. Had a lot of opportunities to cause problems, and yeah, for me, it just kept breaking down on his side. So yeah, he get a 6 from me. Eddie and Nketiah, Brandy, you landed all the hot ones today, boy. Eddie, what are you giving him?
I'm telling you, Eddie, for me, he gets an 8.5 today. He
Fair enough.
was brilliant today. You know, I don't think he wasn't man of the match, but he was brilliant today. He was one of our best 3 players today. Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
But
100%.
you know what? Nah, man. I'm sorry, Mr. B. It's United, man. I'm giving him a 9, man. But he weren't our best player.
And
He was our best
you
player.
remember,
He's getting a 9.
You know, it's important goals as well. His first chance comes when we're losing 1-0, and then
exactly.
to take the last chance,
Yeah,
it's the
and
winner. 2 important goals.
And that's exactly, it's the importance of it.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, the importance of today. So yeah.
We're moving to the subs. Tomiyasu come on at halftime for Ben White. Mr. B, how do you think he fared?
Average.
Yeah,
I think Ben White did better than him even when he was on the yellow card. I think Rashford had no trouble with him. I think he had more headache with Ben White on. So average 6. 6 is 6 average, or is 5 average? 6.
6, yeah, 6.
Yeah, 6. I'll give him a 6. I'll give him a 6.
And we've been linked with a right back recently, and Arteta will probably be saying to him, "Listen, this is why we need you. We might have 2 right backs at the moment, but you got no issues coming into this team." So we'll see how that pans out. Who else came off the bench? We'll score Trossard. We won't score Holding. He only come on for 2 minutes, but I'll give Trossard a 7 for the debut. Again, just something different in that area of the Martinelli, which created the goal. And then when we're up against it, he had really good feet to keep us in possession. Last thing you want to do when you're kind of backs against the walls, keep giving them back the ball, because it's wave after wave of attack. Whereas him and Eddie and Nketiah was just getting up the pitch, looking after the ball, getting the team up, and we rebuild. So I'll give him a 7. Nice debut. Let's score. Brenny, I'm gonna let you score Arteta, and then Mr. B, I'm gonna let you score Ten Hag, just because I like to keep it a bit more neutral. So yeah, Brenny, give me a score on Arteta, please, for today's performance.
9.
And Mr. B,
9 today.
I'll give Ten Hag a 7, just because I think he probably could have made a sub to try and win the game on about 70 minutes. So I'll give him a 7.5. I'll give him 7.5.
Just before you go, Mr. B, we got you on the show. We've almost hit an hour, so we might as well carry on for the last 3 or 4 minutes. 2 questions for you. So I think Fred came on, and I think he made a difference just for the sheer fact he stopped. Eriksen couldn't stop Saka coming in on the left. Once he come inside Shaw, it's that Eriksen's got to come out, and Eriksen couldn't stop him. Do you think Fred should have come on a bit sooner to try and help Luke Shaw a bit?
Yeah, I was calling it, to be fair. I just think on 55 minutes, Eriksen's legs are done. If we're dominating a game, there's not a problem. But if it's a game where we need our midfielders to chase, then he tends to be that drop off, and it's noticeable a lot. So yeah, I would have brought Fred on. I mean, to a certain extent, we could have started with Fred.
I was going to say, what was your thoughts on McTominay stuff ahead of Fred?
No, McTominay was always going to start, but my thing was maybe not starting Anthony, starting Fred to get around Odegaard and Partey. But yeah, but to be fair, we didn't need it. The game didn't pan out in the midfield battle how I thought it was. So maybe it worked out all right. But moving forward, we definitely need a central midfielder who can get around the pitch with legs. We definitely need a central midfielder who can get around. Eriksen's great on the ball, but off the ball, there's little bits lacking.
Yeah, you can see the difference. My next question for you before you go, it's a bit of a random one, but you know me, I just like looking at football, dissecting things. And David De Gea, for how good he is at shot stopping, and you saw it again today, he made a save.
He's about it until.
What do you do with him? Because Ten Hag looks like a man who wants to play football, and he a bit like Lloris, not the best at kicking out. And we saw it when I remember me and Gunnar King had a blow up because he's saying, "Leno, why are we buying a keeper?" And I'm saying this guy can't kick, and you're almost playing with a handbrake on, trying to play out from the back with someone who can't kick, because teams are just going to keep pressing because you're going to make a mistake. And you saw it again from De Gea today. There was a couple he just booted out for throw-ins. Like you saw Ramsdale today. Even though Ramsdale made a mistake, the composure's there, and
Can
it
pass.
must settle
He
your
can
back
pass.
line.
Yeah,
Your
it
back
does.
line as a defender, if you know what you're going to get from your keeper, you trust it. But with him playing out from the back, do you think you need to move on? Even though there's nothing wrong with him as a goalkeeper saving shots, but him playing out, this is going to hamper you long term because it's not good enough.
There's a dimension to Ten Hag's philosophy or his style of play that we can't use until he gets a goalkeeper who can play how he wants to play. The thing with De Gea, he saves us so much times.
It's hard to be horrible to him, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard to be, but the fact that it now sounds like he's going to take a 150 grand a week pay cut, then I have no problem with him staying. Because he was on 350, right?
Yeah.
Now the new contract is saying he's going to be 200, which means one, he's happy to stay.
Yeah.
And two, we've now saved money on the goalie, and he's improved. Don't get me wrong, he's improved with his short passing, and 30% of his medium range passing has improved. But ask him to pass the balls that Alisson, even down to your guy today, he was hitting the ball past the halfway line to a player. It wasn't necessarily on his. Yeah. And it dropped right where that's a dimension of our play that we're just not going to have until we change the goalie. But I'm willing to keep De Gea in and spend the money somewhere else if that's the case.
Fair enough. They are hard to find, but it brings a different dimension. And with someone like Rashford, if you've got a keeper who could pick him early, then he's even got more. He's got more space to now get at people. So it is one of the things I think sometimes you've got to be cruel to be kind, and to move on to the next level. I think that's an area United may have to address because we've seen it firsthand at Arsenal. Leno wasn't a bad keeper, but once Ramsdale came in and started hitting them passes again as a team pressing, you have to be mindful that actually if we press too hard and he hits that, now it's a problem.
You've got 4 or 5 players out of play, and
when you got pace in them areas there to hurt you, like it's another problem that you got to think about. And I think it may be saying Ten Hag, maybe not next year, because I think there's still other bits of work that you need to do, but definitely within the year after, I think you will see it happening. But I'm pretty sure you're happy with the direction you lot are heading in. You're almost looking like you got your United back. And I'm looking forward to this battle to continue. This season ends 3 points each.
Take that.
We're hoping we need to meet in a cup final somewhere and set it once and for all. But listen, it's been a great team. Mr. B, thank you for coming on. Brenny, blessings as usual. Really appreciate it. And again, I've been there. It's not when you get beat sometimes, but you show something, you could take the defeats. But it's when you get rolled over, you ain't seeing me for a good few weeks. But Arsenal still flying strong, top of the table, 5 points clear of City, with a game in hand. We've got to play them twice, so it's heating up nicely. But from all of us at the Armoury, at the United Agenda, we appreciate everybody. Make sure you hit the likes and subscribe button, and you'll see us in the week. Enough love.